Welcome back to Twin Cities Live. You know, the theaters are closed right now. Many productions are being postponed, but that doesn't mean that you can't see new movies right now.
This is a little bit of a silver lining story. Here to tell us the state of Hollywood and some new movies that are coming to digital. Joining us from what appears to be the last blockbuster in the country.
The last blockbuster store,
From the website Paul's Trip to the Movies, it's Paul McGuire Grimes. Paul, before we get into the details of this, how many DVDs do you think you own?
Okay, so I think it's about 1,400. That's a pretty rough estimate. We do have them cataloged, but that's it's a big estimate.
Okay, that would mean that you should be wearing a T-shirt that says "Movie Nerd" at all given times if you have them cataloged.
I do have a Blockbuster video T-shirt, so maybe I'll wear that next time.
I'm
next
sure.
time.
Okay, well, once the COVID-19 passes, I would like a membership card to your Blockbuster store in your house, and then I'll just come over
Only for you, Elizabeth.
and get what I need.
Great.
All right, so the movie industry is really changing. So what's happening? What are productions and these promoters trying to do now?
Yeah, so that's the big question right now, is that we are seeing a lot of movies that were supposed to come out within the next couple of months have been delayed. Some are going straight to digital, some we don't know when they will hit theaters. And we're also seeing that production on movies that were supposed to come out next year are being halted, same with television shows. So studios are really trying to scramble right now and determine, will we release in theaters at a later date, and we can talk about some of those movies, or are we just going to put them on to a streaming service right now and kind of partner with Netflix or Disney Plus and go from there and see what audiences are going to be in the mood for?
Okay, so let's start, Paul, with some of these movies here that we're looking at right now, movies that have been delayed, but we don't have any future release date, which just leaves it all feeling like, okay, we are going to see this movie eventually, right? Starting with A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yes, this was supposed to come out last Friday, the big hit sequel that John Krasinski wrote and directed with his wife, Emily Blunt. Steve, I know you saw it. I was so excited for it. But now we have no idea when this is going to come out. The same thing goes for Mulan, which was supposed to come out the end of March. We have no release date for that. Same with Black Widow, the next Marvel movie. So we're not talking about necessarily small indie movies. Those have an effect as well. But these big studio releases that rely on box office sales to make up the budget of what it took to make those movies. Some movies have new release dates, and they're kind of getting ahead of the curve to say, hey, we'll stake our claim into 2021 or even late 2020. The new James Bond movie, for instance, No Time to Die, was supposed to come out in April. That has now been pushed to November 2020. And then Fast and the Furious 9, Fast 9, I know we're all clamoring to go see that. It was supposed to come out in May 2020 and will now be April 2021.
That's wild. That one right there, Paul. I mean, they delay it almost a year.
Wow.
I would assume, though, that there's, the brass at their studio just has an understanding of what the release calendar looks like. And based on the previous 8 movies that they've had, there's a time of year, kind of a sweet spot of late spring or early summer, where people go to see that kind of a movie where there's beach shots, people's in bikinis and driving fast cars.
The Peter Rabbit 2, I think, is kind of surprising, Paul, though, because it's March of 2020, which is obviously Easter, and that's when we're kind of thinking about rabbits, right? Now it's August 2020.
And I think that's kind of when the summer season is maybe slowing down. So I think they thought that'd be a good time to release it there. I also wouldn't be surprised if that goes to digital or streaming early on, like some of the other movies that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, the first one was cute. I did like it.
It was a cute movie. Universal, I suppose, is kind of leading the way, Paul, in doing that, of saying, look, we had something planned to be in theaters at some point, or maybe we just got something into theaters, but now we realize we've just got to cut our losses here. And I think, Paul, it's interesting because some of these titles now get to feel like a hero. When we go tonight and pull up on demand and see movies that were just released in theaters, available at the click of a button, it kind of makes Universal seem like a bit of a hero in the midst of all this.
It really does. I mean, they've come up with a game plan right away. So movies like The Invisible Man with Elizabeth Moss, which is fantastic. I highly recommend people watch it. Or maybe if you're into British period dramas like Emma, that and Bloodshot, they are all going to be available for digital rentals starting March 24th. Actually, Invisible Man is now available. You can digitally rent it for $19.99 for a 48-hour window. And that's actually not too bad of a price tag. I mean, if you think about a couple or a family going to the theater, getting concessions, that price tag can add up really fast. So $19.99 isn't bad. And for a movie like The Invisible Man, it's kind of fun to watch something that scary and spooky in the privacy of your own home and basement, especially in times like this, right?
And so will the Trolls movie not even be in theaters, the second Trolls? It's just going to come straight to your TV? Because I was excited about taking the kids to the theater for this one.
Right. They decided to just make that available on demand the day that it was supposed to be in theaters, April 10th. And I think that this is going to be a really big test for studios to determine, does this, platform work? Are people willing to spend $19.99, or are they going to do what Disney just did and released Frozen 2 available for streaming for free on Disney Plus right now, which is so amazing for parents, I think, right now, as they're trying to get a new routine into place. Pop on Frozen 2, and it is just pure joy and excitement.
We watched it last night. We watched a little bit this morning.
And again tonight.
And again tonight.
It's interesting, Paul. So
you're going into the unknown.
That's the truth. I feel like life is the unknown right now.
This is the interesting thing. So Universal releases Trolls World Tour, and like you said, that's a big budget movie, right? They get some big name talent in that, and then they say we're going to go fully to digital. So they start that. Disney, however, then is the counterpunch to all of this because they've got their own Disney Plus streaming platform, and they are already a hero to parents right now. I'm sure their subscriber numbers must be going up. But like, for instance, Onward, which just hit theaters last weekend, is available today on demand and will be on Disney Plus on April 3rd, interestingly, 1 week before Trolls.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Paul, this is so helpful.
They just announced that this morning.
Oh, gosh, that's brand new information. We've been seeing the trailer for that and looking forward to seeing it. Paul, thank you. Go back to cataloging your movies, okay? I know you probably have a lot of alphabetizing to do and dusting and whatnot.
You definitely come across as a movie fanatic and not a hoarder, definitely. Polly, thank you.
They're all alphabetized. They're in a very specific system.
You can visit Paul's website. It is paulstriptothemovies.com. He's got updates on other movies and other streaming services as well.
You can listen to Paul on the Colleen and Bradley Show on My Talk 107.1 every Friday, or watch him on his YouTube channel. It is also called Paul's Trip to the Movies. That was a fascinating look inside Paul's space.
Paul's life in general.
I love getting to see inside people's houses. Is the only good thing about this.
That's the best part about all these Skyping. I know